Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming. Wonderful Balaram's festival. Who are coming for first time here today? Besides me. Anybody coming here for first time? Thank you very much. What's your name? Thank you very much. How do you heard about the temple? How do you heard about the temple? Oh, very nice.
We asked Murudakar to keep it in the back of the temple's room.
After Jayarada.
After Jayarada. Okay.
So here, I'll explain.
Very good job.
So today is a festival because it's a Balaram
Radha Madhav.
the birthday of Krishna's brother Balaram. So tomorrow, next week is Krishna Janmashtami. Before Krishna was born, the Guru, which is Adi Guru Balaram, was born. So Ramtith Prabhu, so he's going to talk about the significance of today's festival about Balaram. So little intro of Ramtith Prabhu. Ramtith Prabhu has been practicing devotion service almost 20 years, 2 decades. And then with his wife Sita Sundari Mataji and then his daughter, she's studying in university right now, but she's not yet cooking. So today actually he dressed rather than it was so beautiful. I sent this pictures to Malki Prabhu, so BBC. He said, amazing. He said, so beautiful. Then the decoration is done, the Sita Sundari Mataji is the thing. Let's give a big round of applause. So Ramtith Prabhu also, he was the board of director. He was temple council before, and then he used to manage the DD department. Now he's managing the finance department. So he also have preaching programs. So having said that, now a couple of housekeeping items. You have the phones, we can switch it off. You have the kids, they cry, they can go up or downstairs. And then there are so many devotees will come. I request if we can move a little forward. There's a lot of space opened up now. We will start the swing ceremony for now. We will resume it later. Those who come later, they can do it. Mataji, you all can come now. Mataji, there is some space. Let's open. And Mataji can come, please. And then Prabhu, we can move a little forward. So, room will be packed. Then later on, after this program, there will be Kirtan, Arati, and then Prashadam will be served in the backyard. We will try to block the way. This side or that side? Without any further delay, let's give a big round of applause for Ramtith for one more time.
Thank you all so much for coming. So before I start the prayers, I just wanted to say one thing. Naveen Krishna Prabhu mentioned that I dress the deities today rather than but the Gauranga Darshan Prabhu said one thing. He said if the deities are beautiful, it's not just because the dresser, there is so much work behind. You know, right from the beginning where somebody selected the outfit, somebody stitched the outfit, somebody made the jewelry, somebody made, so many things, flower arrangements, everything makes a festival beautiful. So all the glory and credit goes to all the wonderful devotees and of course to Sri Prabhupada. Let's give a big round of applause. So we will start with Jayarada Madhava and then we will jump into our talk. Jayarada Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari
Jayarada Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari
Jayarada Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yamuna Tiravanachari So, today is the most auspicious appearance of Lord Balaram. Before we start the Tattva and the pastimes of Lord Balaram, we will offer some prayers to Lord Balaram. So, that is the pranam mantra is up on the wonderful. So, it is there. So, please repeat after me. Namaste Halagraha.
Namaste Halagraha.
Namaste Musalayudha.
Namaste Musalayudha.
Namaste Revati Kanta.
Namaste Revati Kanta.
Namaste Bhaktavatsala.
Namaste Bhaktavatsala.
Namaste Dharanidhara.
Namaste Dharanidhara.
Namaste Balanam Shrestha.
Namaste Balaram Shrestha.
Palambare Namastestu.
Palambare Namastestu.
Yehimam Krishna Purvaja.
Yehimam Krishna Purvaja.
So the translations. Obeisances to you, O holder of bow. Obeisances to you, O wielder of the mace. Obeisances to you, O darling of Revati. Obeisances to you, O kind benefactor of your devotees. Obeisances to you, O upholder of the earth. Obeisances to you, O best of the strong. Obeisances to you, O enemy of Pralamba. Please come to me, older brother of Krishna. So this is a very, very beautiful pranam mantra of Lord Balaram. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatpataha chaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sarvati. So Krishna says that Janma karma chame divyam. Janma means appearance, karma means activities. So my appearance and activities are divyam, transcendental. Those who understand these, they will never take birth again in this material world. So before talking about the pastimes of Lord Balaram, we have to understand the tattva of Balaram. Because when we speak about certain pastimes, if we do not know the personality, we may not be able to appreciate the glory of the personality, right? For example, if you go on the street and somebody is sweeping the road, when you see that person, you may not appreciate that much. Okay, there's somebody sweeping. But if you understand that that person is the Prime Minister of India or President of the country, then you have certain respect. Wow, somebody extraordinary is doing some ordinary things, right? So when Krishna and Balaram came to this material world, they performed Naralila. So like ordinary human beings. But if you understand the tattva behind it, if you understand the personalities, who they are, then we can appreciate the pastimes more. That will help us. So once somebody asked a question, Prabhupada asked a question, what is the purpose of life? What is the goal of life? What is the goal of life? Everyone said, just a general question for everyone. To enjoy. Right. So that's good. I thought somebody will say different things. You already know the philosophy, so I don't have to speak here. So the purpose of life is to enjoy. Right? Everybody is looking for enjoyment. Right? Is there anyone here not looking for any enjoyment? Anybody looking for suffering here? Everybody is looking for enjoyment. Nobody wants suffering. But the problem is we are looking for enjoyment in wrong place. So this place is not designed to have permanent enjoyment. So our permanent place is the spiritual world, Gorakha Vrindavan or the Vaikuntha planets. That's where we belong to. That's where we can have unlimited enjoyment. So our enjoyment is only by serving the Supreme Lord. So we cannot be happy unless we serve the Supreme Lord or the Supreme Enjoyer. Only by serving the Supreme Enjoyer we can be happy also. So how do we serve Him? How do we serve? We don't have any knowledge. We are very dull-headed, right? So we don't have any knowledge of how to serve somebody. So that's where Lord Balaram comes in. So Lord Balaram explains, Lord Balaram by his own example illustrates, tells us how to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So, so who is Lord Balaram? Who is Lord Balaram? That's a big question, right? In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a verse, it's the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 5, verse 4. So please. Sarva Avatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan. Tanhara Dvitiya Deha Sri Balaram. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second body. So Lord Balaram is the immediate expansion of Lord Krishna. And the next verse goes like this. See again Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila 5.5. Eka Iswarupa Done Binna Matra Kaya. Aja Kaya Vyuha Krishna Lila Rasahaya. These two are one and the same identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balarama is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastime. So, as I mentioned, Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Everything is emanating from him, everything is coming from him. And the original form of Krishna is Shyama Sundara, two-handed Tribanga-lalitam. So he's a two-handed Shyam Sundar form in Vrindavan. That is called Swayam Rupa. So the Lord Krishna's form, the original form is called Swayam Rupa. And there are different manifestations of this Swayam Rupa. They are called Prakash. This Swayam Prakash. So the first thing is Swayam Rupa. That is two-handed form of the Krishna, Shyam Sundar form of Krishna. And this Swayam Rupa has Swayam Prakash, which is two types of Prakash. This is a little bit technical. I request all of your attention here to understand Balaram Tattva. So we are going to go deep into the philosophy today. Less pastimes but more Tattva. If time permits, we will have one or two pastimes also. But we would like to understand who is Lord Balaram. That's topic today. So the first type is called Prabhava Prakash. So what is Prabhava Prakash? So I just mentioned Swayam Rupa. Swayam Rupa is the actual form of Krishna, real form of Krishna, that is a Shyam Sundar. Right? This Swayam Rupa has two types of Prakash. One is called Prabhava Prakash. Prabhava Prakash is basically the form of Krishna. The forms of Krishna expanded from the Swayam Rupa. So Swayam Rupa is two-handed form. So Prabhava Prakash is basically the expansion of the Swayam Rupa, two-handed form. So that means the Prabhava Prakash forms exactly look like Krishna. There is no difference. So can you think of any examples where Krishna expanded himself exactly, right, to perform pastimes? Which pastime Krishna did this, exhibited that? What is that? Rasa Leela. Rasa Leela is one of them, where Krishna was with every gopi in the same form, exactly same form, same mood, everything. Right? Krishna expanded himself as Prabhava Prakash, which means same form, same mood. Right? So that is one of the examples where Rasa Leela, Krishna was with every gopi. Similarly in Dwaraka, Krishna was with every queen. At any time simultaneously, he was with every queen, same form. Right? So there is another example from our scriptures, Bhagavatam. Brahma Vimohan Leela. Right before the Brahma Vimohan Leela, Krishna expanded himself as gopis and gopas basically, right? And also when Krishna is going to forest with all the cowherd boys, while he was enjoying with the cowherd boys, Krishna expanded himself such a way that wherever the Gopabalas are, it feels like Krishna is looking at only them. Krishna is reciprocating it only them. So this is the Prabhava Prakash. So that is the first Prakash. Okay. Now you have Swayam Rupa, original form, and these expansions are called Prabhava Prakash, which is same as Krishna 200 form. And the second type of expansion, second type of Prakash is called Vaibhav Prakash. So Vaibhav Prakash, it's Krishna himself, but there is a slight change in the form and the mood. It's Krishna himself, but there is a slight change in the form and also the mood. That is Lord Balaram. Okay? So Lord Balaram is the first expansion, and this is called Vaibhav Prakash in Vrindavan. In Goloka Vrindavan, there are only two aspects. One is Prabhav Prakash and Vaibhav Prakash. Only these two. There is nothing else. That is Krishna's extended forms and Balaram. That is the uniqueness of Lord Balaram. Vishnu, Narayan, all these are out of Vrindavan. They do not come under this category of Vaibhav Prakash or Prabhav Prakash. So that is the speciality of Lord Balaram. So he is the first expansion of Lord Krishna. According to our Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta, Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, all living entities are categorized into three main categories. Three main categories. So one is called Vishnu Tattva. Okay? Vishnu Tattva means that includes Krishna, all his expansions and also incarnations. All his forms, expansions, incarnations, all these are called Vishnu Tattva. For example, Lord Ramchandra, right? Lord Ramchandra is one of them, Matsyavatara, Kurmavatara, Narsimhavatara. These are all the different incarnations of the Lord. They all come under Vishnu Tattva. That's the one type. And the second category is Jiva Tattva. So Jiva Tattva means all the living entities like us, right? Part and parcels of the Lord. So, and these living entities are never created. They are always existing. We are eternal part and parcel of Lord Krishna. And the third type of Shakti is Shakti Tattva. Okay? Shakti Tattva. Shakti Tattva is basically the energies of the Lord. So, all the living entities are categorized into these three categories: Vishnu Tattva, Jiva Tattva, and also Shakti Tattva. Of course, there is a Shambhu Tattva, which is very special category, which is about Lord Shiva. It's a special category. But in general, these are the three categories of living entity, right? And based on this, Balaram belongs to which Tattva? Is it Jiva Tattva or Shakti Tattva, or which Tattva Balaram belongs to? So he is Vishnu Tattva. So because he is the manifestation of Lord Krishna, right? In the first expansion of Lord Krishna. So, what is the role of Lord Balaram? So there are three aspects of Krishna's energies. There are unlimited energies of Lord Krishna. Because Krishna is the Supreme Personality, he is the original creator. He has unlimited energies, right? There are three aspects of these Krishna's energies. So first is called Sandhini Shakti, okay? Sandhini. And the second one is called Samvit. And the third one is Hladini. So most of you know what is Hladini Shakti, who is the personality of Hladini Shakti. That is internal potency of Lord Krishna, which is Radharani. Radharani is the pleasure-giving potency of Lord Krishna. So there is no difference between Radha and Krishna, but she is a pleasure potency, or she is Hladini Shakti. And Sandhini Shakti is responsible. Hladini Shakti is responsible for giving pleasure to Krishna. And Sandhini Shakti is responsible for manifestation of the spiritual world. The entire spiritual world that is manifested because of the Sandhini Shakti. Right? Everything is manifested, entire spiritual world, material world, everything is manifested because of the Sandhini Shakti. And Lord Balaram is the representative for Sandhini Shakti. He is responsible for this Sandhini Shakti. Right? And Samvit Shakti is basically any sort of knowledge that exists in the world. That is called Samvit. So that is also Lord Balaram. So all the knowledge that we can have, we can gain to serve Lord Krishna, that's all coming from Lord Balaram. So three aspects of the energies: Sandhini, Samvit, and Hladini. Hladini is Radharani, Sandhini and Samvit is Lord Balaram. So let's continue. CC again, Adi Leela, chapter 5, verse 8. Sri Balarama Gosani Mula Sankarshanam Pancharupa Dhari Karena Krishnera Sevanam. Lord Balaram is the original Sankarshana. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Krishna. And 5.10 also we can go. Somebody can recite that?
Srishti Adhika Sheva Dandra Akanera Palana Shesharupa Kare কৃষ্ণের বিধান সেবা বিবিধ সেবানা
Sesharupakari Krishna Vidya Sevana. So he executes the order of Lord Krishna in the work of creation. And in the form of Lord Shesha, he serves Krishna in various ways. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions that Balarama, as the chief of the original quadruple forms, is also the original Sankarshana. Balarama, the first expansion of Krishna, expands himself in 5 forms. So one is Mahasankarshana, Karanabdishayi, Garbhodakashayi, Kshirodakashayi and Shesha. So these are the 5 expansions of Lord Balaram. So Lord Balaram expands himself into these 5 forms to, what is the purpose of this expansion? To serve Krishna. How different ways Lord Balaram serves, we will come into that. Okay. So in these 5 forms, Lord Balaram assists Lord Krishna in his activities. And the first 4 of these, so what are the first 4? Basically Mahasankarshana, Karanabdishayi Vishnu. Basically Karanabdishayi is also called Karanodakashayi. And Garbhodakashayi, Kshirodakashayi and Shesha. So out of these 5, the 4 are responsible for the cosmic manifestations. The cosmic manifestations responsibility is by these 4. So Lord Balaram expands himself as Chaturvyuha. Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Vasudeva, Anuruddha. Right? That is the first expansion. And this is called Chaturvyuha. From there, Narayana comes. Okay? And from Narayana, second Chaturvyuha comes. Okay? Pradyumna, Anuruddha. And from there, Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is also known as Karanodakashayi Vishnu. So Mahavishnu is the one where all the universes are generated from his force of the body. Okay? Yeah.
More people come, keep announcing that they can come forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there is some more space in the front. I request devotees to come forward in the front so that the people who come in late, they can sit in the back. Anyone? All I am asking is come closer to Krishna. That's all I am asking. Please come.
2 inches, just move 2 inches.
Please come. Do not hesitate. Please come. And I promise I am not going to ask any questions. So usually I have a tendency to ask questions who are in the back. Just by the way, that's a disclaimer. So please come forward. So yeah. So Balarama expands himself into Chaturvyuha. From Chaturvyuha, Narayana comes. From Narayana, second Chaturvyuha. From him, the Karanodakashayi Vishnu is also known as Mahavishnu. So Mahavishnu, from Mahavishnu, all these universes are generated from this force of the body. And in each universe, Mahavishnu expands himself as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu and he goes into every universe, material universe. So Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is the super soul of every universe. Then same Garbhodakashayi Vishnu expands himself as Kshirodakashayi Vishnu and he is the super soul in every living entity. So for all these expansions, who is the root here? If you look at it. So Lord Balaram. So everything is coming from Lord Balaram. So all these expansions, all these creations, everything is dealt with. Of course, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, but he does not have to deal with all these things. He expands as Krishna, Balaram. That's all he did. And he takes care of enjoying with gopis and gopas. That's what Krishna does in the spiritual world of Goloka Vrindavan. So all other responsibilities of creation, entire cosmic manifestation is handled by ultimately Lord Balaram. That's what it is. Okay? So now let's talk about what are the differences between Lord Balaram and Krishna. So I said, there is no difference between Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. That's what our verse says. But there is, because he is a Vaibhav Prakash, there is difference in the form and mood. So what is the complexion of Lord Balaram and complexion of Lord Krishna? Yeah, that's one, right? And how many qualities that does Krishna have?
64.
What? 64?
Unlimited.
Everybody agrees?
Unlimited.
Krishna being the supreme personality of Godhead, he has unlimited qualities. But there are 64 qualities that are elaborated by Rupa Goswami. That's why we say 64 qualities. So there are chief qualities of 64. Right? So what about the expansions and incarnations of Lord Krishna? How many qualities do they have? All the Vishnu Tattva. I mentioned Vishnu Tattva, Jiva Tattva, Shakti Tattva. Right? We all come under Jiva Tattva. And all the incarnations and expansions of Lord Krishna come under Vishnu Tattva. So now Krishna has 64 primary qualities. So how many qualities other Vishnu Tattvas have?
60.
60. 60? Okay. So what about Lord Balaram? Does he have 60 or 64?
64. 64.
Who thinks it is 60 and who thinks 64? Prem Sundu Prabhu says 64. Anybody else for that?
64.
Everybody thinks 60.
64.
64?
He is not on.
64 is the right answer.
He is not.
This is the first expansion. In general, we say that all incarnations of Lord Krishna have only 60 qualities, including Vishnu, Narayana, they have only 60. What are the 4 extra qualities that Krishna possesses but not other incarnations? What are those 4? So I'm going to ask in the back because I said some people did not move. So. I'm just kidding. So I don't want to put anybody on the spot and make them uncomfortable. so what are the 4 qualities, that extra qualities that Krishna exhibited or Krishna has, which other incarnations do not have? Rupa Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Lila Madhuri, Prema Madhuri. See, these are the 4 extra qualities that Krishna exhibited. So now, many of you said Balaram also had 64 qualities, right?
Not on.
So, does Balaram have Rupa Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Prema Madhuri, Lila Madhuri? Yes? Yes, even Balaram has all this. Balaram has his own gopis. He also.
What are the 4 qualities?
What is that?
What does that mean?
Yeah. So, Rupa Madhuri means the beautiful threefold bending form of the Lord. Extremely beautiful. Krishna is extremely beautiful. Nobody can come in parallel with Krishna. That's the Rupa Madhuri, the threefold bending form of the Lord, right? And that is Rupa Madhuri. And the second one is Leela Madhuri. Leela Madhuri is the beautiful pastimes of the Lord. You know, all the pastimes with gopis and gopas in Vrindavan. You cannot see these pastimes from anywhere else, right? Only anybody else. That is the Lord Krishna. So Rupa Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, and Prema Madhuri. Prema Madhuri is the loving exchanges with the devotees. Okay? And the 4th one is Venu Madhuri. Venu Madhuri is flute, playing the flute. Any other incarnation of the Lord plays flute? No, we don't see that. So these are the 4 specialities, special qualities of Lord Krishna. However, being the first expansion of Krishna, even Lord Balaram has all these 64 qualities. Because Balaram is also extremely beautiful. Extremely beautiful. He also has gopis. He plays with the gopis. He also does all these beautiful pastimes in Vrindavan along with Lord Krishna. But Krishna has them completely, but Balaram has little less. Otherwise, even Lord Balaram has all these 64 qualities. So now, back in days, when Prabhupada was there, his disciples, just remember, this is like early 70s. Lot of at the time, not all the books are even published. Right? All the scriptures are not being published in English. So the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, 2 devotees specifically, Yamuna Mataji and Madhudvisa. So they had a discussion. So Yamuna Mataji says the discussion is about what is the difference between Krishna and Balaram. That was the topic. So Yamuna Mataji says that the only difference between Krishna and Balaram is that Radharani is enjoyed by only Krishna. So that's the difference. Then Madhudvisa Prabhu says, he's another Prabhupada disciple, he says that the only difference between Krishna and Balaram is the complexion. Krishna is dark and Balaram is white. So now these 2 disciples are arguing about this, are discussing about this, and the matter reaches another senior disciple of Prabhupada, that is Tamal Krishna Goswami. So the case goes to him, and they both present their arguments, and Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he did not know what to say, how to answer this question. So he takes this case to Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada, Yamuna Mataji says that the only difference between Krishna and Balaram is Krishna only enjoys Radharani. Then Srila Prabhupada immediately says, she is correct. Then, but Prabhupada, Madhudvisa Prabhu says that the only difference between these 2 personalities is the complexion. He says, Prabhupada says, Madhudvisa Prabhu is also correct. Then Tamal Krishna Goswami gets confused. He says, so Prabhupada, then who is right? Then he says that, you are right. But Prabhupada, how can I understand? So then who is, exactly, who is right? Then Prabhupada says that you figure among yourselves. And then he leaves the conversation right there. So, in the material world, we have a conception that when we say best in the material world, we think about only best. He's the best in the world, right? So that means we expect only one person to be best. There's only one thing to be best when we say he's the best of everything, right? But in the spiritual world, there can be multiple bests. Right? Spiritual world, everything is best. We cannot say that he's the best. So everything can be best. Similarly, so even though there is no difference between Krishna and Balaram, but again there is some difference. That is called Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. So they are simultaneously one, but at the same time they are slightly different. Okay. So then that is the Lord Balaram Tattva. So now, how did Lord Balaram come into this material world? So now we spoke about the spiritual world, what is the expansions and everything. So now, how did Balaram come into this material world? So we all know how Krishna came into this material world, right? So Lord Krishna appeared in Moon Dynasty. There was a king named Devamida. Once upon a time, there was a king named Devamida. So he got Surasena through Kshatriya wife. He had many wives, and through a Kshatriya wife, he got a child named Surasena. And from Surasena, then Vasudev, then from Vasudev, not Vasudev, Vasudev. From Vasudev and Devaki, Krishna appeared, right? And he had a Vaishya wife. So through Vaishya wife, he got Parjanya. Okay, the son's name is Parjanya. So Parjanya's son's name is Nanda Maharaj. So through Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, Krishna appeared. So now, one side we can see that he is through Kshatriya, right? It's through Kshatriya wife. And another side we see from Vaishya. So is Krishna Vaishya or Kshatriya? Because we see that Krishna is appearing through Vaishya wife and also through Kshatriya wife. So is Krishna Vaishya? Is a Kshatriya? Okay. Ruma Mata says he is a Kshatriya. How many people agree that he is a Kshatriya or a Vaishya? Kshatriya. Haribo. So there is more majority for Kshatriya.
He appeared simultaneously.
So Krishna is neither Vaishya nor Kshatriya, because Krishna is beyond this. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, what is that? Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagasaha tasya kartaram abhimam vidhi akartaram abhedam. He says that I created these four varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, for this world to operate. But I am beyond this. Krishna is beyond. Krishna is neither a Vaishya nor he doesn't belong to any of these varnas. He created these varnas, but he is beyond this. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? So in the seventh child was about to be born. First six children were born and immediately Kamsa killed them. So, right, Devaki gave birth to 6 children, and then Kamsa immediately killed these 6 children. And when the 7th child was in the womb of Devaki, Krishna orders Yogamaya to transfer Balaram, who was in the womb of Devaki, to Rohini. And where was Rohini at the time? Rohini was in Vrindavan, Gokul. So along with Nanda Maharaj, under the care of Nanda Maharaj, right? So that's how Balaram gets transformed. The 7th child of Devaki, which is Balaram, gets transferred from Devaki to Rohini. That's what happens. Right? And then he was there in the womb for 8 months. Balaram was there for 8 months, and then finally he appears like 14 months. He was in the womb totally. And Balaram was there in the womb for 14 months. So finally Balaram appears. He was extremely beautiful, extremely beautiful. He was darling of Vrindavan. Right? Everybody was mesmerized by the beauty of Balaram. But there was one issue. He was mute. He was not speaking. He was not giggling. He was not, no expressions. He was just completely silent. Nothing was happening. Right? So nobody could understand what was going on. Why this child is extremely beautiful but not doing anything. Right? So then after 8 days, who appeared? Krishna appears. So then Rohini takes Lord Balaram. And of course, various scriptures say that Krishna appeared 8 days after Balaram, and some scriptures say after 1 year of Balaram's appearance, Krishna appeared. But we don't have to go into those technical issues. We don't have to worry about that. But then Rohini takes Balaram to Mother Yashoda, and before Krishna was born, actually this one. right? Mother Yashoda picks up Balaram and keeps Balaram on her lap. As soon as Balaram hears the heartbeat of Krishna in the womb of Yashoda, immediately he starts laughing. He starts laughing and he starts smiling. Then when Mother Yashoda keeps the baby Balaram on the floor, then immediately he becomes silent. So he understands, Balaram understands that Krishna is there already in the womb of Mother Yashoda. So he was waiting for that. And he was preparing preparing everything for the Krishna to appear. That's what Balaram was doing, right? And in the childhood pastimes of Krishna and Balaram, Balaram was always there with Krishna. There is one personality. There is one personality in the entire this pastimes. There is only one personality who is always accompanying, pretty much. And of course, there are a couple of occasions where Balaram did not accompany Krishna, but Balaram was always accompanying Krishna. So if you look at the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 90 chapters. Out of 90 chapters, first 40 chapters are about describing the Vrindavan pastimes. And the next 10 chapters talk about Madhura. So after that, Krishna and Balaram, they go to Madhura. And they spend not much time in Madhura. And from there, they go to Dwaraka. So these are the three places where Krishna and Balaram perform their majority of the pastimes. Right? First, the base is Vrindavan. That's where majority of the pastimes happen. And then they go to Madhura. There are some pastimes happen there. And after that, they go to Dwaraka. Right? Even, Krishna and Balaram were not there all the time in Dwaraka, but that was their base. They were going around and performing different leelas. But during all this time, Madhura, Vrindavan, and Dwaraka, which personality was accompanying Lord Krishna? Yes, only Balaram. Of course, Rohini was there. Even Rohini went to Madhura and also Dwaraka. Even she was there, but as a friend to share anything and everything, Balaram was the only person who was there with Lord Krishna. So when Krishna left Vrindavan, even he was feeling so much separation from all the gopis and gopas. Krishna was feeling so much separation, and Balaram was the only person who was there to solace Lord Krishna in Madhura or in Dwaraka. So they are so close. They are the closest, the best friends, Lord Krishna and Balaram. So Lord Balaram served Krishna in all the rasas, right? All different rasas, Lord Balaram served Krishna. So the first one is the Shantaras. Shantaras is neutrality. Lord Balaram, how does Lord Balaram serve Lord Krishna in the Shantaras? So by expanding into different paraphernalia. So first of all, he expands himself as the Dham. The entire Dham, the spiritual world, everything is an expansion of Lord Balaram. Right? And also he expands himself as Mridanga, the ornaments, the kartals, the dress, everything. So all the things that are worn by Lord Krishna, they are all the expansions of Lord Balaram. Okay? And because Lord Balaram is the expansion of the Dham, the Dham is an expansion of Lord Balaram. So Lord Balaram assists Lord Krishna in his various pastimes in Vrindavan. Right? When Krishna wants to meet gopis, Lord Balaram, because he is the Dham himself, right? He shrinks the distance so that Lord Krishna can reach the gopis faster. When some demons are attacking Krishna or they are coming to Krishna, then he expands, the distance increases. So like that, because he is the Dham himself, so Lord Balaram serves Lord Krishna in the Shantaras. And the next one is Dasyaras. Dasyaras is mood of servant. Right? So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Lord Balaram is the Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead. So he is the Sevak Bhagama. Okay? And in the Dasyaras, so he serves Lord Krishna, he massages the feet of Krishna whenever Krishna was feeling tired, he massages him. And also in his incarnation or expansion as Lakshmana, we know what kind of service Lord Balaram did when he came as Lakshmana. So he went through so many difficulties. Externally it appears that Lakshman was going through so many difficulties in the Treta Yuga. That's when Lakshman decides that in the future yugas, future incarnations, I will become a elder brother, not younger one, because he went through so much difficulties during the time. Right? He served in many ways during Ramayana and different pastimes. And the third one is the Sakya Rasa, and also fourth one is Vatsalya Rasa. So as a friend, Sakya means as a friend. Balaram is the best friend. As I mentioned, he was the only companion, in all three places. He was always there for Lord Krishna, helping him, playing with him, enjoying all the pastimes with him. So that is a Sakya Rasa. And a Vatsalya Rasa is parental relationship. So as an elder brother, he was always looking after Krishna. Whenever Krishna is going to the forest or to tend the cows or calves, so Balaram was always there to take care of Krishna. Right? If it is getting late, then immediately he tells Krishna, it's getting late, let's go home. So like that, Vatsalya Rasa as a parent, Balaram served Lord Krishna. And the last one is the fifth rasa that we are talking about, the Madhurya Rasa. Madhurya Rasa is conjugal relationship. So in a conjugal relation, how can Lord Balaram engage in conjugal relationship with Krishna? So that's the reason he expands himself as Ananga Manjari. And Ananga Manjari is basically sister of Radharani. So he expands himself as Ananga Manjari, as sister of Radharani, so that Krishna can have conjugal pastimes also. So like this, all the 5 different rasas, Lord Balaram serves Lord Krishna. Right? So that's about the philosophy of tattva of Lord Balaram. And there are so many pastimes. As Adi Guru Krishna, Lord Balaram is also known as Adi Guru, or the original Guru, because he is the one who is teaching us how to serve Lord Krishna. Right? He is also known as Adi Guru or Guru Tattva. So there are several pastimes that Lord Balaram did in Vrindavan to teach us some lessons, what we can learn. Right? Yesterday in the Sunday feast class, Sri Radhika Kishori Mataji beautifully narrated a couple of pastimes also, and for preparing the consciousness for this festival. So today I have another 15 minutes to speak. I was thinking about maybe one pastime. The pastime of killing Vividha gorilla. So who was Vividha gorilla? Why did Lord Balaram kill Vividha gorilla? Krishna and Balaram, they were in Dwaraka. They killed Paundraka and Narakasura. Right? We all know the pastimes of Narakasura. Who was Narakasura? You guys know who is Narakasura? Son of Bhumi and Varaha. So basically, Narakasura's parents were Bhumi, Mother Earth, and Varaha. When Varaha appeared, when he lifted the earth, so that's when Narakasura appeared. Right? Narakasura was born. So this Narakasura, by birth, he was not a bad person. He was not a bad person, right? Because after all, he is a son of Mother Earth and Varahadev themselves, right? But then he became friends with Banasura, another demoniac person. So because of the association of a demoniac person, Banasura, he became bad. Narakasura also became demoniac. So that tells us the importance of association. So who we are associating with, that really matters. So whatever the association that we are getting, those are the qualities that we develop eventually. That's the reason one has to always associate with the saintly people, those who are on the path of spirituality, so that we also can learn those kinds of things and develop those wonderful qualities. Right? Even Banasura was not a demon actually. Banasura was not a demon too. He was also a good person. And he got a boon from Lord Shiva to have 1,000 arms. So once he got these 1,000 arms, what happened? He became proud. Because of the pride, he became bad. So because Banasura developed demoniac tendencies, from the association of Banasura, even Narakasura got this demoniac tendency. So the pride is very, very dangerous, right? So then Narakasura was killed by Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna takes Satyabhama to kill Narakasura at the time. Right? That's when people celebrate Diwali also on the occasion of killing him. What's that?
He was killed by Satyabhama.
Yeah. So Satyabhama, he takes Satyabhama help to kill Narakasura. Right? So now, how is this related to Dvividha gorilla? How is this related to Dvividha gorilla? So I mentioned Vividha Gorilla because Vividha Gorilla was from the pastime of Lord Ramchandra. He was one of the associates of Vanara. Extremely powerful. Vividha was extremely powerful warrior. So he was a secretary for Sugriva. He was assisting, all these personalities, all the Vanaras in the war, right, with Ravana. And he had very high respect for Lord Ramchandra. But such a great personality, such a devoted personality, he turned bad. Why did this happen to Vividha? Because when this war was going on, the battle was going on between Lord Ram, Lakshmana and Ravana, Lakshman becomes unconscious because of the Indrajit's weapon. So until then, Vividha had he had very good respect, high respect for Lakshmana. But when Lakshmana fell down unconscious because of Indrajit's weapon, then Vividha started thinking or underestimating the power of Lakshmana. And Lakshmana represents Guru. Lakshmana is an expansion of Balaram. So he's a Guru Tattva, he's also Guru. So because he started not undermining the strength or the power of Lakshmana, then he started having envious nature towards Lakshmana. He started showing disrespect to Lakshmana. Because of that, Vividha eventually he got association of this Narakasura. Then because of the demoniac tendencies of Narakasura, he became a demoniac person, Vividha. That's all. So again, the thing is that we have to show respect to this explains the importance of respect, showing respect to Guru in our spiritual life. So without Guru, just we have to understand one thing. Without Guru, we are nothing. We cannot progress. There is no progress in the spiritual life. So Haradhar Maharaj he came a couple of weeks ago, last Sunday, not last Sunday, before that. He was telling the entire spiritual journey. Our only goal is to show respect and gratitude to the spiritual master, to Guru. Just imagine, without Guru's mercy, we cannot do anything. Whatever the services we are doing in the temple, any service that we are doing, we should never ever think that it is you are doing this service. Yes, physically you may be doing it, but our mood should be, we are assisting the spiritual master. Because spiritual master is personally not there. Spiritual master's duty is to serve Krishna. Because our Guru is not here right now, we are assisting our spiritual master to serve Krishna. So that should be our mood. So because Vividha did not show that respect to Lakshmana, then he went into this bad association. Because of this bad association, he became demoniac and he developed some animosity towards Krishna and Balaram. So then Balaram was, one day Balaram was with all the gopis, his gopis, and enjoying in the forest of Vrindavan. And he, at the time, Vividha Gorilla came and started disturbing the entire situation, entire area. So he was behaving nastily. So then I don't want to go into the details of this pastime, but so Vividha finally, Balaram went and he just gave one punch to Vividha, and there is some pastime there, a little bit of pastime there, back and forth fight between Vividha and Balaram. But then who can really, Balaram wants to kill somebody, nobody can stop. Because if God wants to save somebody, nobody can kill him. If God wants to kill somebody, nobody can save him. So Balaram with one fist, he finished Vividha Gorilla. So from this pastime, basically we need to understand that one should not develop pride, because pride is the beginning of our fall down. So we should not develop pride, and also association of the devotees is extremely important. No matter what. So one should not leave the association of saintly people or the devotees, because that will help us to progress in bhakti. We may go through so many difficulties in our spiritual life. We may have so many misunderstandings amongst the devotees. All these things are there. After all, we are in the material world. This is world of hypocrisy and quarrels. What else we can expect? So this is normal. But when we are going through these difficulties and struggles, misunderstandings among devotees, we should never leave the association. We should still continue associating with devotees and continue our seva, right? So that is one pastime. And the second pastime, I'll take a quick, again, I'll quickly run through this pastime. Samba's marriage with Lakshmana. So who is Samba? Krishna's son. Krishna's son through Jambavati, right? Krishna's son. And Samba was extremely beautiful. He was exactly like Krishna, extremely beautiful, extremely powerful personality. Samba, right? He is called Samba because he was very much attached to his mother Jambavati. Very, very much attached to Jambavati, and he grew up with Jambavati. That was the attachment of Samba. That's the reason he was called Samba. And Duryodhana had a daughter named Lakshmana. So Lakshmana was also extremely beautiful. She was the queen, beautiful queen of entire Kuru dynasty. Extremely beautiful, right? And there were so many kings that wanted to marry Lakshmana because Lakshmana was extremely beautiful. And so many princes, so many people wanted to marry Lakshmana. That's the reason Duryodhana, the Kuru dynasty, they organized a Swayamvar. So in those days, whenever there is a demand like this, they organize a Swayamvar so that the bride can choose her husband. So, right? So in that assembly, actually Lakshmana did not have any attraction towards Samba. But Samba wanted Lakshmana. So Samba abducts, he goes into the assembly of Swayamvar, then he abducts Lakshmana and goes in. Right? He runs it. Then the entire Kuru dynasty, all the people, Duryodhana, everybody, they they're totally upset with this. How dare this Yadava boy, he takes our girl, because they are Kshatriyas, right? So how can they take our daughter? And immediately, with the order of Bhishma Dev says that, so you go and arrest. Do not harm Samba, do not kill him, but go and arrest Samba. So 5 or 6 great personalities, great warriors, Maharathis, they go to attack Samba. They go to get Samba. And Samba is also not an ordinary personality, by the way. He is also a Maharathi. Maharathi means, it's like extremely powerful. They can fight with, I don't know exactly how many Maharathi?
Almost, count those standing on the ground, and the horses and camels, and then chariots. It's almost 100,000.
Yeah, so the Maharathi can fight with 100,000 people with one shot. That's the power of Maharathi. So Samba was a Maharathi, right? She is extremely powerful. On the other side, from the Kurus, Karna and few other people, they are also Maharathis. 5 Maharathis go to attack Samba, to bring Samba. And then first initially, Samba was, fiercely fighting the battle with all of them, and he was defeating them actually. One by one, individually there, Samba was defeating all these 5 Maharathis. But then they planned something. All these 5 Maharathis says that each one of us will attack one aspect of one thing in Samba. Somebody will attack his horses, somebody will attack, his bow, somebody will attack the chariot driver. Like that, they made a plan, and finally they defeated Samba in the battle. And they captured Samba and took him to Hastinapur. Right? So now this news reaches Lord Krishna and Balaram. Who gives this news? Who is the news agent at the time? Narada. So Narada goes and gives this news to Krishna and Balaram. Then Ugrasena, he gets really upset with this. How dare this Kuru dynasty capture our boy Samba? And immediately he says that, and they said that immediately go and have a fight and kill all these people. Then Balaram says, let's not do this. I will go because Duryodhana is his dear Shishya. Right? So he says that I will go and I will deal with it. So we don't have to go and do all these things. I will go and deal with it. So Balaram along with Uddhava, they both go to Hastinapur. And it's a custom in those days that they don't directly go into the assembly, kingdom, right? So they just wait outside of the city, right? Balaram and Uddhava, they wait outside of the city. And Balaram sends Uddhava to Hastinapur inside. So Uddhava goes and tells them that Balaram is here, he is waiting outside of the city. then immediately the entire Kuru dynasty becomes extremely happy because Balaram came. If it was Krishna, the story would have been different. But then Balaram came, so they were very happy. So then immediately, these people go, the elders and the leaders of the Kuru dynasty, they go to Balaram, they offer their respects, they do all these things. They talk sweet words. They ask about different family members, how each person is doing, both exchanges, loving exchanges, all these things happen. And finally, Balaram says, I am here for a purpose. The purpose is Ugrasena sent me, or King Ugrasena sent me, that you have captured Samba. So, you have to release him. And then when Balaram said this, and also Ugrasena gives a warning, if you do not do this, we can destroy the entire Kuru dynasty. That was the warning sent. Then the Kuru dynasty they get extremely upset, they become furious. They become extremely furious, how dare they can speak like this. Because these Kuru dynasty, they are Kshatriyas, they have the feeling that they are Kshatriyas. And Krishna and Balaram from the other area, which are kind of considered low. How such persons can come and claim our daughter? It's not acceptable. So then they started saying so many words to Lord Balaram. They get extremely upset, they get extremely upset and they started saying so many things to Lord Balaram. And Lord Balaram gets agitated. Lord Balaram hears everything. And finally, of course, Lord Balaram, he gets immediately very, very agitated and upset. And he decides to destroy entire Hastinapur. He wanted to drag entire Hastinapur with his plow. Right? He just, he puts the plow, just edge of the plow, he just puts on the ground and then starts dragging entire Hastinapur. So just by seeing this, then immediately the Kuru dynasty comes into the senses. We are not dealing with ordinary personality. Balaram is not an ordinary personality, so I think we have to be careful now. Then immediately they come and surrender to Lord Balaram. And they offer, Lakshmana to Samba. And in fact, all these 5 Maharathis, they were fighting with Samba. They were very, very impressed with Samba actually. This boy is extremely nice and extremely powerful. Even though initially they did not like him, but they liked him while the fight was going on. But ultimately, finally, by seeing the prowess of Lord Balaram, they surrendered and they handed over Lakshmana to Samba. So, what is so special about this pastime? This is like a movie, right? What is so special about this pastime? So, we have to see the mood of Lord Balaram in this. So, what is the mood of Balaram? Kauravas, the Kuru dynasty was saying so many things to Lord Balaram and everything, right? They were insulting. But Lord Balaram did not show his agitation or anger. But when they started condemning Lord Krishna, that he could not tolerate. So that is a servant. As a servant, if somebody says something, if somebody blasphemes us, we should have tolerance to take it. But if somebody says something to our Guru or Krishna, then we should not tolerate it. So that was the mood Lord Balaram was exhibiting there, demonstrating that. So there is a verse, in this particular chapter, there is a verse in this pastime. Can you pull that verse? 10.68.37. So this is a very, very beautiful verse in this particular pastime. So, Sri Radha Kishore Mataji would like to recite this verse. So somebody can recite the translation? Yeah.
The dust of Krishna's lotus feet, which is the source of holiness for all places of pilgrimage, is worshipped by all the great demigods. The principal deities of all planets are engaged in his service, and they consider themselves the most fortunate to take the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna on their crowns. Great demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, and even the goddess of fortune and I, are simply parts of his spiritual identity, and we also carefully carry that dust on our heads. And still, Krishna is not fit to use the royal insignia, or even sit on the royal throne.
So because the Kuru dynasty, those people were blaspheming the entire Yadu dynasty, including Lord Krishna. So that's when Balaram says, he's talking about the glory of Lord Krishna. Such a great personality, Lord Krishna, where everything is coming from him. So even the great demigods like Brahma, Shiva, all these personalities, they serve. The goddess of fortune is serving Lord Krishna all the time. And he is not fit for this throne. So that's what Lord Balaram is expressing his anger. So until then he was okay. But when they started blaspheming Krishna, he could not tolerate it. Balaram could not tolerate that anymore. That's when he speaks this verse. And then he picks up his plow and then starts dragging Hastinapur. So that is the mood we all should have. So when serving Guru or Balaram. Right. So these are a couple of pastimes. There are so many other pastimes, but lack of time, we cannot go into all these things. Finally, we can conclude with, because Balaram is the Adi Guru, is a Guru Tattva. He guides all the devotees on their spiritual path so that they can go back to Godhead. Ultimately, what Lord Balaram wants? He wants all of us to serve Lord Krishna. He gives us all the knowledge, whatever is needed, all the paraphernalia, everything is coming from Lord Balaram. So he facilitates our service to Lord Krishna. So without Lord Balaram, we cannot, period, bold, highlight, we cannot approach, we cannot go back to Krishna, we cannot serve Krishna. So that is the role of Lord Balaram. And the easiest way to get in contact with the Lord is to get in touch with somebody who knows the Lord. So that is, who else can know Lord Krishna more than Lord Balaram? Of course, Guru, right? And of course, Narahari Shakti, Radharani is there. But again, so without Guru, we cannot know Lord Krishna. That's the reason we have to follow the footsteps of Lord Balaram to serve Lord Krishna. And being a servant is not an easy thing. Lord Balaram experienced it when he came as Lakshmana. But still, did Lord Balaram ever leave Krishna in the service? He never left service of Lord Krishna. Similarly, on the path of spiritual journey, we may experience so many difficulties. We may experience, some service may not be easy, some service may be difficult. No matter what, we still have to serve. So we have to find the opportunities. If certain service may not be suitable for you, that's okay. But still, do not leave the service. If you are not comfortable with one service, that's fine. Take another service. But you should never leave the service of the Lord. So be in the association of the devotees, serve the Lord sincerely, then we can go back to Krishna. So Lord Balaram Guru comes into our heart first, and he cleanses, he makes all arrangements, proper arrangements. As a Shesha, Ananta Shesha. Where does Krishna Vishnu live? On the Ananta Shesha, nice bed. So Balaram Guru comes into our heart. Before Krishna is invited into our heart, we have so many anarthas in our heart. So Guru comes, and when all these anarthas are gone, with the help of Guru, then he makes it very comfortable, fertile, right? Then that's when Krishna comes in. So another 1 week, 1 week from now, we are celebrating Krishna. So before inviting Krishna into our heart, so we all have to sincerely invite Lord Balaram into our heart, and surrender to him, so that we can invite Lord Krishna into our hearts next week, which we are going to do. And one last thing, there's a beautiful prayer. So you all can repeat after me. This is the prayer by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. He is one of the Goswamis. So I like this prayer. I thought we all can repeat that today. We all can offer. Of course, we all can have our personal prayers to the Lord. But these great acharyas, they have already expressed their prayers. So we can always imbibe those qualities, and we can recite those prayers as well. So please repeat after me. O Lord Balarama, please, if you so desire, give me strength, to conquer, my restless mind, with its armies of useless thoughts, which sometimes run away and get lost in the maze of this world. So it's a beautiful beautiful prayer. So Rangnath Goswami is saying that, "Oh Lord Balaram, please, if you so desire, give me strength to conquer my restless mind." Right? So whose mind is stable? Can anybody say that our mind is stable here? Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. It's just very, very restless, and we have so many anarthas. So we have to pray sincerely on this auspicious occasion of Balaram Appearance Day. So to give us the strength, right? So in order to have stability in the spiritual life, we need strength. We need to be stable in the spiritual life. In order to be stable, we need strength. Where do we get this strength? The strength comes from Lord Balaram. So that's the reason Lord Balaram is a very, very important personality in our life. So without whom we cannot serve Lord Krishna, we cannot understand Lord Krishna. So with this, I will end this presentation. May Lord Balaram show you all His mercy of spiritual strength, so that you all can act. In fact, we all can act. Not you, we all can act. Deepest spiritual desires, convictions, and understandings. So, thank you all so much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Thank you. Is there some?
Jai.
Yeah, so as Prabhu mentioned, like service attitude, that's what we need to develop. That will come from the Guru. Guru will direct us. I'm just remembering one of the one of the classes, Krishna Kshetra Swami Maharaj is narrating like what's the purpose of temple? Why coming to temple, right? So Maharaj is narrating a nice pastime. I would like to say now because